So with that said, your boy, he's kind of my boy.
The takeover.
My boy, the takeover, who looks like he needs a makeover at this point. He had a split decision win this weekend over
a gift decision win, I think. Some might argue.
Over
Sandor
Martin, who had beat actually in his previous fight. He'd actually beat Mikey Garcia. So this was not a pushover. But I watched the whole fight. I didn't score it. I know that
that's the whole point. Yeah, dang, you didn't score that shit.
So you couldn't score the fight.
You scored it while watching
between Bud and
I watched it again though.
Oh,
okay.
So I went back and watched it again.
So we'll go to you first or whatnot. So what do you? So this was a fight where after I thought it was very telling where TEOFIMO, he actually got dropped once, maybe
should have been called twice,
maybe twice or not. But he also questioned if he still, do I still got it or whatnot. So how did you see that fight going?
It's more the same from this kid, man. He's a guy that fights with, and I know this might sound crazy to listeners, he's a guy that fights exclusively with his hands and his feet and not with his head. Mm-hmm. And against a crafty guy like that, you've got to use your brain. You got to go back to basic, not even no high level shit, like just basic. Stop following the guy around the ring. The guy's already walked you into one punch, right? Stop following him around the ring. Right hook, step over, step back, step over, and cut the ring off. Like basic shit. But when you have a helicopter parent, and I know what, first of all, let me preface this by saying this. I'm not questioning T.O. Sr.'s competency as a father. But what I have questioned, and I'll continue to question, is his competency as a boxing trainer. And when your guidance in the corner in between rounds is, come on, Poppy. Let your hands go, Papa. Come on, Papa. Fuck him up already. Let's go. That you needed time for a new trainer. It's time for a new trainer.
Okay, but
because it's taking its toll on him psychologically, right? As we can see, forget all the outside the ring shit that he's going through. Just the inside the ring shit, it's bad.
It's all in his father. It's all because I watched almost an hour-long interview that he had with Ariel Helwani, who is one of the top MMA kind of journalists or whatnot. But he did and it was eye-opening. Like TEOFIMO was. I don't want to say that
pre-fight or post-fight.
Pre-fight.
Pre-fight. Okay.
I don't want to see he seemed like off of his rocker, but he seemed a little detached from reality, right? He was just kind of like throwing out these kind of one-off kind of metaphors and things, and it was just that he didn't seem right mentally, and it's not me kind of like feeding into the chat, but a lot of people were just like, this guy seems like he is in a different dimension right now in there. So I don't. So he's always been somebody who has always had all the physical gifts to be a all-time great in there, but we know that mentally he's had his struggles in there. So do you think that accounts for anything?
No, I really don't, man. Boxing is full of guys who have battled all kinds of outside the ring demons, less talented guys in TEOFIMO who have been able to overcome that. Don't ask me the name off the top of my head, but I bet you if we look through boxing history, we'll find guys who had to deal with shit outside the ring. This is about
I could be a Boche is like one of them, yeah.
This to me is about boxing. This is boxing 101 shit that he needs to be instructed on, and he's not getting that instruction. It doesn't appear to be happening outside the ring. It doesn't appear to be happening in between fights, like in training camp, and it definitely is not happening in between rounds. Now, the one thing I want to point out for our listeners' edification is that Joey Gamache, who has been in the boxing business for a long time, been around as a trainer, I believe, for a while, no longer with the camp. After the Lomachenko win, Joey Gamache, as well as whoever the nutritionist they were working with, was let go.
And like that was my next. Like this is the same fighter, and Lomachenko is a high IQ fighter. Like this is somebody. This is high speed chess.
People are starting to bring it up if Lomachenko was actually healthy for that fight. This how.
And that's people trying to. Those are Lomachenko fanatics.
Yeah, that's like
that
like
fight to me. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's just top rank
propaganda.
Like they always make excuses for Lomachenko.
Lomachenko is operating at a significant physical disadvantage at 135 pounds. And I'm not a Lomachenko apologist. I respect the man. I'm very, very neutral on Lomachenko. But it's obvious. If you look at his last fight against that kid Jermaine Ortiz had a serious size and weight advantage over him. TEOFIMO also had a serious size and weight advantage over him. The reason TEOFIMO was able to have the success he had in that fight was because of the physical advantages.
Yeah.
Power being one of them, but with that extra size comes an additional physicality and additional power. So this is still the same guy, right? I don't believe we're seeing some sort of decline from the Lomachenko fight to now. What we're seeing is we're seeing a plateau, and
decline. So, like, you think this same fighter against Lomachenko is getting caught with those?
Yeah, absolutely.
With those right hooks. The guy was just like going face first. I thought it was some technical flaws that he had.
I think it's the same. I think it's the exact same guy, and he's just in there now with guys who are not going to be in awe of his power or intimidated by his power because they've been at the weight. Not counting Pedro Campa, I'm thinking specifically Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin was in there with a guy, Mikey Garcia, who has a 90-something% knockout ratio. Mikey Garcia very rarely goes the distance, and he usually knocks motherfuckers down. Point is, Sandor, Regis, pick a guy. They're not going to be intimidated by that power.
At 140, man. Hey,
go ahead,
Captain. Ugly. The sharks are circling, especially after
blood in the water.
Fight, man. If you follow these fighters on Twitter, man, the sharks were circling.
So
blood in the water.
With that said, we'll go to you, the casual. So at the end, and this is why I think a lot of it was mental, because you saw him questioning. Like I don't know if y'all saw, but he was leaning against the rope, and this is, you never want to see this from a fighter. You never want to see this out in the open. But he said, "Man, do I still got it? Like, am I still that dude?"
I think his mental has always been like a little
fragile.
But this fight, where in his hometown, you know what I'm saying, he was hyped up to go ahead and knock this dude.
It was on Heisman night. You know, he showed out on Heisman night, right?
And Heisman night. Who was he originally scheduled to fight?
Jose Pedraza. And that's another thing that we should not.
Thank you for bringing that up.
We shouldn't leave that out, that this was a late replacement. But Sandor Martin does not fight like Jose Pedraza fights.
Yeah, so but still, this is supposed to be his night. He was supposed to show out, you know what I'm saying, reintroduce himself. But none of that came to fruition. I think he was gifted that decision. And ESPN and Top Rank knows it. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum came out like a day later and was like, yo, do not call out program. I was like,
that'd be the
like,
programs would ruin him.
We do not want anything to do with program right now. So now I think he need to step back, man, and like Boston said, start looking for other trainers, man. I think his physicality, he has it. He has it with the physicality. That's why everybody's so.
Well, when you say physicality, Randy, what do you mean? I'm talking when you say physicality, to me that means size and strength, not his athletic abilities like his speed, his quickness, his reflexes.
Like size and strength. I think he can literally hang it at the 140 division with his physicality, his size and strength.
But
I mean, one of his mind that the people that he hit is going to fold like the people at 135. Once we realize that and he go back to learning the basics of boxing, I think he'll be okay, but he has to get proper training. And then I had got an argument with somebody online was saying like,
hey, you always argue with niggas online.
A focused Teofimo would be dangerous, and I got to change that shit to like a properly trained,
right?
Properly trained and focused Teofimo. I think will be dangerous.
I still think those things go hand in hand. I think that if you are properly trained, that you're going to be focused. But with that said, I want to go back to the physicality because I haven't been on this train, but I think I'm about to go ahead and hop on to it wherever it takes us. But Boston Jared has said that Teofimo's power has not translated. It's not is not going up to this 140. And then so this was one of the first time Sandor Martin didn't seem bothered at all by his power or those kind of quick bursts of combinations that we usually see, which is an advantage because that actually puts your opponent on this kind of defensive where they can't be as offensive and dynamic as they want to be because they have to be wary of this. Well, they have to be wary of this power. So with that said, Boston Jared, do you think that we have you seen, or do you think that Teofimo's power translates to the 140-pound weight division?
I think it's TBD because I really think it's TBD. I want to see him set his feet, not lunging with his hands down with his distance wrong and his timing wrong, and land clean, hard shots. But just to clarify what I was getting at earlier, I don't think the 140 pounders, certainly at the top 140 pounders, are going to come into fights leery of this kid's power. I think he's going to have to show them. He's going to have to show them first, and then maybe there's, oh shit, this kid does got a little bit of pop. Whereas at 135, going back to Loma, you saw how Loma came out in that fight. And Loma was a guy that came out from the very beginning of the fight like, oh shit, I can't let this kid touch me.
Yeah,
the disposition
he caught a broad so
won't be that.
But even against Comey, like he wrecked Comey in like a couple of rounds, and
that was a well-timed shot. It
was like perfect. I mean, it was one of those kind of, I don't want to say lightning in the bottle, but it was one of those things, but it put you on notice. And then it actually, I think it put Lomachenko on notice also that, hey,
but he didn't stop Nakatani. He didn't even drop Nakatani.
No, I mean, he actually.
Nakatani is a bigger 135 pounder.
Yeah. So let's just end this. But so Boston, what do you think our Teofimo should go next? Just as far as opponent, coaching decision, just wrap this up with them.
As far as opponents, I think he needs to revisit the Pedraza fight. I think the Pedraza fight is a get your mind right kind of fight where I think he can go in there against a guy who stylistically is going to enable him to look better. It can help build his confidence. And hopefully, if he adds somebody to his team who is able to correct and coach and refine what it is he's doing, he's able to go in there and work on some things. I don't think he is ready for any of the top guys at 140 pounds. And if I were the matchmakers at Top Rank, I would keep him well away from those guys. I say revisit the Pedraza fight is what I would do if I were managing him.
All right. With that said, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap. I think this was a good way to kind of come back with most of the pundits. We don't have all of the pundits as soon as I unfreeze. But We want to thank you again for rocking with us tonight. Make sure that you do like and subscribe. We're trying to push it to those 3 digits. We are very, very close because, you know, once we get to the 100, then we get into the 1,000 and then so on and so on. But make sure that you do like and subscribe, and keep it popping with the pundits of pugilism. This is your man, Professor Nims. I'm signing out for your Boston Jared. Don't forget the S. And then your man, the casual one, Casual Rand.
Peace.
All right, we are out.